second part of my Queen of Shadows discussion because it's just going to be too long. I have too many things to talk about. Okay, right, Lysandra. I really liked Lysandra. I think there's something I want to get like cross first. I feel like Lysandra, she says a lot of things about like getting married to Aelin and or like sleeping with women or fae women or fae men, and I'm pretty fine with that, but I want to know because I feel like she has to be, I feel like it's a little bit of queer baiting. Like she's not explicitly said it to be bisexual or anything particularly. I feel like, or she hasn't even said I like both men and women the same. She hasn't been particularly explicit about her sexuality, but she's lots of implied things which could be interpreted as queerbaiting, and maybe we'll get a bit more definite. She hasn't got a romantic love interest who is a woman or anyone at all. You know, I need somebody who's a bit more like, you know, knows a bit more to be like, yes, this isn't or is it already. Because although like sexuality is like not really like, it doesn't have to be like I am bisexual as like a term, but like it should be, if she's going to be, then she needs to be a bit more explicit, I feel. Like, it has to be more explicit, otherwise I feel like it's queerbaiting. Other than that, I really like Lysandra. I think she is a good addition. I mean, she is giving that kind of female friendship for Aelin after Nehemia is dead, which also is a bit of a like a trope thing. That's another thing. There's very little diversity in Sarah J. Maas's book. There's like 1,000 tan-skinned people, but nobody who's inherently not white, which is a bit of a problem, I feel, because it's just not real. If you're going, and they go to different countries as well, so it's not like they're even just staying in one place where they're on, like, England in the countryside is predominantly white, but that doesn't mean that in London is one of the most multicultural places in the world. There really should be other people who aren't white in the books, but there are 1,000 tan-skinned people. Either way, I mean that was to do with Nehemia and the fact that Nehemia is not white. And she died to spur on Aelin, which is a bit of a trope and that's a bit of an issue, but it's not, Sarah J. Maas is not the only person who's ever done that, and it's more of an issue as a whole, needs to be realised and sorted out. And she has the opportunity, she has like 4 more books coming now because they're adding 2 on to like redeem herself by adding more diverse characters. But Lysandra, yes, actually getting to Lysandra. I like the fact that she's a shapeshifter, that's really interesting. I like the fact that Rowan just smelt her and then was like, ah, shapeshifter, which is a bit weird. There's a lot of like smelling and like very primal things going on with Faye, which is weird. There's like that biting thing where like to be dominant you have to bite the other person's neck, which is weird. It's in Akamath as well, there's a Faye thing where you just have to bite someone to be like, you're mine, or like, I'm better than you, I'm more scary or whatever. I did like Lysandra. Like, when she came in the end as a snow leopard, and I'm thinking, Alien's gonna die, and I'm gonna be so sad. And Rowan, I don't know, I feel like nobody actually really dies though. No like key characters except Nehemia have died, so I wasn't like, okay, they're gonna die, because I feel like they're too important, they're too a part of it. Yeah, I was sure that they were gonna survive, but I was glad that it was Lysandra who came in and like saved her. I like her name as well, because I'm pretty sure Lysander was a general in ancient times, like a specific, you know, important general, and I was like, oh yeah. But yeah, I liked her. Oh, I like Kaltain as well. I like the fact Kaltain was in this. She had a bit of redemption and she was interesting. She had that shadow fire stuff, which I don't know whether it was like just making people feel pain, like Jane, isn't it, in Twilight? Actual fire? I don't think it is actual fire because they don't have any like burn marks or anything. She might still be alive, I don't know, but they blew up all the witch stuff, which was good, and Manon escaped and she took a lead, even though I don't really like a lead particularly. Like, she just seems a bit weak, and I don't know, maybe it's because of all her situations, she just, you know, being trapped there by her uncle and stuff and all that stuff. Maybe she'll come out of her shell a bit more, be a bit more interesting in the next book, which I'm excited about because that comes out very soon, I think. Ooh. The phone. Right, sorry, phone rang. There have been so many interruptions in this video, but I will continue. Oh my god, this thing with Lorcan, is it? Like, he's part of Rowan's cadre? I don't know, that thing. I didn't understand his whole thing. Like, I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Why are you... Okay. Maybe it's because I wasn't paying enough attention in the other books, but I don't know whether this... It feels like to me that this is not... The books weren't planned out long term, which I know is a very difficult thing to do when your story is constantly evolving and stuff, but it does mean that I feel if you're not paying the closest of attention and constantly, you do miss how things work out, because at the end I was really confused. I just kind of was like, oh, okay, right, what happened? I don't know, maybe it's because also you change perspectives a lot, and Aileen never tells you what she's thinking, so... And there are no obvious rules, like with the mating thing and then the witch babies, where, you know, where it's just like, can you not just tell me some stuff so I can work it out for myself a bit? Because Whitney from Witty Novels talked about how she doesn't know the boundaries for the world, like doesn't know what's possible and what's not possible, which I think I agree with, where although because I do love Sarah J Maas's books, particularly A Court of Mr. Fury, like that's my favourite. I mean, I don't really like ACOTAR that much, but it makes sense. Like if you've watched my ACMAF review, you'll understand. But which is linked here if you want to watch that on the little like court of the night court sigil thingy there. Yeah, I feel like there's no boundary and I'm confused all the time. Like, oh, that's possible. Okay, we can do that, and that's a bit. I don't know whether I like that particularly. However, having said that, I really do enjoy her books, and I think she does it better than other people. Like I'm reading. What am I reading at the moment? I'm reading The Beauty of Darkness by Mary Pearson. And I feel the same way, that I'm confused about the politics of all of it, and I feel like it could have been done slightly differently, a bit more obviously, or at least having one perspective at least on what's going on. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like those politics could be a bit stronger, because maybe it's my own fault because I don't pay enough attention, but I feel like at least even if I don't pay, I pay like most of it. I'm not like not reading it. I don't know, I think I could just do with a little bit stronger politics of like, oh, that's how that happened. So maybe it's my own fault, maybe it's Sarah J Maas's fault, I don't know. And I don't really have ships from this series, which is bizarre. I think because I used to like Kaelin and Aileen, and pretty much always I'll go with whoever the author is like leading me toward. The one time really that hasn't happened is in The Remnants Chronicle, which is where that book that I just showed you is from, and ACOTAR, where I'm like, I don't like this love interest. And ACOTAR, I was right, so all is well. I like Rowan, I like Aileen, like their balance. I'm worried about the mating bond thing. Don't really know how I feel about Aedion and Aileen, because they're cousins and that's a bit weird. Yeah, so I am kind of worried about that aspect of things in the mating, and I'm confused about how you can have witchling babies but apparently no male witches, and Astrid had like a human father for her baby. Do you get the human men to have babies with, but you're like, you can't be a part of this parenthood at all, you have to get out because I'm a witch and I know what I'm doing. One last thing. Every 5 minutes somebody's saying, don't say another word or I'll stuff your tongue down your throat, or I'll cut your throat, or I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll be so ridiculously violent, but nobody has actually ever done it. That's another thing, that's part of the show not tell thing. That I was mentioned a lot earlier, probably like half an hour earlier in like real time. They're so often like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna be like this, and it just gets too much. Like, because Aileen says it, Rowan says it, Aedion says it, and I don't know about anybody else, but like, because they're obviously like, they're key characters and they're saying all these things all the time, and they're just like so violent, but then none of them actually do it, and that bothers me. If you're gonna say it, and you're going to say it that often, it has to be carried out at least once, because otherwise it's just tiring and too much, and then I just don't believe them anymore. I don't get this also, because when you talk about Fae, there are no men and women, it's always male and female. I get it, because that's like a more biological, primal characteristic, is you're male or female, whereas gender is a social construct, aka made up by people. Why? Why switch? I don't know. And humans are men, women. Are you trying to say that gender is really only a people thing and not a Fae thing? Like a human thing? I don't know what's meant to be implied by that change, really, so that's something to think about. If somebody knows, that would be really great if somebody could tell me. And also because of the addition of the next 2 books, or like another 2 books, and like 6 books added on to like the ACOMAF, that's like, I'm not entirely sure about that. That might be wrong, or might be like 4 or something. I don't know, but either way, there's more books added on. A lot of people are worried about it, but I think you've got to just trust the author that they're gonna just do good. They're gonna do a good job. You can't be sure until it's happened. It hasn't happened yet. All the books that previously planned haven't even been out yet, so you can't be sure what's going to happen, how the plot is going to be affected until you've read it. So everybody just calm down a little bit, I think. Just a little bit. Like, nothing's even happened yet. Okie dokie, right, I'll definitely be reading Empire of Storms, I think maybe even this week if it's out. Is it out this week? I think it's out this week. I'm excited. So I'm definitely going to be reading that. I'm going to be on top of that, and yeah, thank you for watching probably by now the entire of my review, which might even be like half an hour long in total, but this is the second part. Thank you for watching, I hope you have a brilliant day. I don't know, see you later. I'm out. Okay, right, cool, yay, I got through all of the things.